No, I don't think that. I think, obviously we got to just figure out how to win a period. I think we came out with the right intentions, but it was trying to do too much. And then we're not doing the things that we do as a team that normally just helps us. I didn't know what I was watching in the first period, and that didn't go well. So, I always said the other day, the margin here is tight. Like, we're not going to beat this team if we're not on the same page. And tonight, for whatever reason, I think, like I said, the intentions were good. Everyone's trying, okay, I'm going to do this, but it's not how we do it. And it just backfired. And then, like you put it, probably as good as you did. That's exactly how that game went.
The 1,000-yard stare.
I've been there as a coach. You guys said that during our live call what was it, the first intermission there, Cody?
Yeah, I mean, there are some points, and this is why I'm not as hard on coaching, because it's easy to watch it from the couch and be like, oh, you should do this and this and this. Buddy, when you are on that field and you got to make those decisions, and when shit ain't going right, because here's the thing, there are two things you never want to be at the same time: bad and unlucky. Because if you're just bad, okay, but never be bad and unlucky, because that makes you look like absolute shit. But the Panthers, I've said this last year. I think they're a way better team on the road, and
They smoke it.
And they are smoking teams on the road.
Oh, the road splits for the Panthers.
It's ridiculous.
But in particular, you'd not just like the record. Like, you take a look, power play, penalty kill, even like goaltending. I mean, it's every single facet and the eye test.
I can predict something Nick's going to say here. Nick, you're like, it's going to round into form at home. I don't know to this degree what we're doing.
Granted, we're 3-2 at home.
No, I said this. I'm like, you were worried about our away record.
At the games, Nick, but I'm just saying this.
You were worried about our road record at the end of the year, but I kept trying to tell you.
I wasn't worried. I know.
So what do these home records mean during the regular season then from Tampa and Carolina?
Nothing.
Not much, man. Apparently, because
playoff hockey is a complete different animal.
It is.
It's just completely different, right?
Because we beat Tampa all 3 times in Tampa. But then
I think Toronto was one of the teams, I could be wrong in this, but their road record was pretty much just as good as their home. But Carolina and Tampa, they lived off of home ice advantage, I want to say.
And
it's unbelievable to see what's happening here. 4-0 against Carolina and Tampa on their home ice to start the series.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow.
On the road, the Florida Panthers are 7-2. They're averaging 4.78 goals per game. They're allowing 2 goals per game. The power play is at 45.8%. Penalty kills at 86.2%. They're allowing less than 25 shots per game. And as far as the goaltending goes, which I know obviously that's Sergei Bobrovsky has been brilliant here. His road stats, he is 7-2. With a .919 save percentage and a 2.02 goals against. So stellar on the road, not just. And you take a look at how we're winning these games. This is like historic levels of dominance and success.
Yep. I have a tweet that Caesar's going to share. Don't get to that yet.
But I was kind of want to share what I'm showing here now.
Panthers are the 6th team in NHL history, in NHL playoff history, to score 5 or more goals in 4 consecutive games.
Road games.
I want to get a shout out in here very quickly to Benny and the Cats and Rats community. He was in attendance live tonight. Way to go, Benny, grabbing that W.
How long has it been?
Last year
when we did it. It's just like I talked to Nick and Curry during the first intermission. I'm stunned with Carolina.
They don't have anything. They're like perplexed.
Okay, but here's the thing. I understand losing a series is like if you don't have like the top players and you're just like missing that one little inch, but they're mentally so out of it right now. I mean, Andrei Svechnikov just taking dumbass penalty after dumbass penalty.
That's the guy leading the goal scoring for
that is the game you need from Matthew Tkachuk.
Right?
baiting guys into stupid penalties, potting one, going to the net, crashing.
How about instead of turning the puck over, making them turn the
Hey.
puck over?
Hi, Vince.
Hey, Vince, how's it going?
And you take a look at it, and it's like, that's the game you want from Matthew Tkachuk. I mean,
Is that too much to ask?
No, I mean, and here's the thing. He looked pretty good tonight. The second line, I liked some of their shifts in game one. I said that here. Like, I liked some of what I saw in game one. It continued here in game
Don't you
two.
think game one was driven off of Verhaeghe? Tonight it was Bennett. It was definitely Tkachuk.
Here's an example of Bennett Tkachuk
Verhaeghe was excellent.
winning the board battles, and Verhaeghe here. This was such a great shift, and it just shows how much dominant we are on the offensive zone.
Well, you take a look, it's our cycle. There were a couple times he was doing that. He was playing defense a couple times tonight. He kept that puck.
Where was that before in the neutral zone?
I don't know. It just seems like
He didn't have one play in that. Was it the Toronto series or the Tampa series along the wall? But that was about it.
But it's like he did everything. There was this one shift in the second period. He's protecting the puck, bodying off guys, putting the puck in his feet, in his skates, putting it up to the point. I mean, he has been absolutely outstanding. We just lost Caesar there. I don't know what happened. We just lost Caesar.
Well, you guys keep going. Like, this is not professional. Keep going.
What the hell happened?
Keep going.
Okay, but Kirby, he
You can't
just went
quit in the middle of a
poof.
shift.
Dog, he went poof.
I
Like,
think he was going to be all right.
dog,
He's going to be all right.
it's like me and Nick are
Dude.
it's like me and Nick are the wingers, and our center just went to the bench for some unknown reason. And
I
like,
think that,
I'll say this,
honestly,
I'm still here. I'm still
and
here.
especially when Sam Reinhart went out. That
We
is
lost Reinhardt tonight.
well,
We
when
can't-
Sam Reinhart went out.
Couple minutes.
When Sam Reinhart went out, and we'll talk about that later. That's the type of game we needed for Matthew Tkachuk. We needed him to step up. He did just that. And credit to a bunch of other guys, AJ Greer and Tomasz Nosek. They jumped up with some shifts up in the top nine, and they looked really good. I mean, again, it was just suffocating. The first period, if you're Anderson, which, by the way, I'm not going to pat myself on the back, but Pyotr Kochetkov looking pretty, like a
You
pretty
let a
good
goal
Ding,
in.
ding.
ding.
You let a
ding,
goal
ding.
in.
And I'll say
Already in
this,
the series.
but I'll say this:
Fucking dog
if
shit.
you're Freddie Anderson, you got to have that Forsling goal.
I don't know. That got
The
the
Forsling
fucking
goal
right
was
out in
tipped off
front.
a stick. Cody's saying it went off the glove. I saw it go off the shaft of the
It
Carolina.
got
Oh, it
deflected.
did?
It got deflected by something.
Yes.
Well,
it was a
And
def-
I'll say this: Carolina's
Appreciate
man-on-man defense. If you go take a look at Game 6 of the second round last year against the New York Rangers, go take a look at that Chris Kreider goal.
Look.
That is exactly how Sam Bennett and Matthew Tkachuk scored their goal tonight.
Yeah, like they were leaving guys like wide open in front of the net, and like Kirby and I were on the phone for when Carolina blew that Game 6 game versus the Rangers. I was livid at them, like because I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
And the Carolina Hurricanes now fall to 0-14 in their last Eastern Conference Finals games. I mean,
a little fun fact there. The last time they won a conference final game, Rod Brind'Amour was still a player. I think it was June 1st, 2006, and he scored the game-winning goal.
I think
Right.
he's still trying to be a player, if you want my honest opinion, Curb.
The poverty Buffalo Sabres.
If you want my honest opinion, Curb, I think he's still trying to be a player.
Oh, after his interview tonight, Nick, you would have loved this. He didn't have confidence before the game. He's like, we need to score more goals. You know what he did at the end of the interview on Sportsnet?
Prayed.
He ran out of the shot just like he was a player. Just ran out right to the game.
Look, I'll say this. It's just
Nick, he
certain
said-
things are like you could do whatever you want structurally, tactical wise. If you don't have the talent to score as much, like to score, because here's the problem. You either, if you're not going to score a lot, you need to defend well, and Carolina does, but they don't have an elite goalie and they don't have an elite goal scorer. So now it becomes, okay, well, what the hell? You're just going to defend against a team like Florida and hope for the best? And there's another storyline here. How does this change the outlook for the Toronto Maple Leafs, who seem to have given the Florida Panthers their best fight so far? Maybe Craig Berube and the Toronto Maple Leafs deserve a little bit more credit than people were giving them.
Kirby and I, we've been saying it all year.
We're giving them. But
I'm not getting ahead of myself here, but Tuna keeps sharing 2006 stats tonight.
the movie Cars came out on June 9th, 2006.
Tuna can be our guy.
Well, the movie Cars wasn't even out yet the last time the Carolina Hurricanes won. But
So,
look,
But
kind of
but-
question here with Cedric here.
Can't see you there, Coach.
Dude,
I know,
that-
but
Do you guys think
grand reveal.
that the biggest issue with Carolina is their offense?
I mean, of course, you've scored 2 goals in
yeah,
one.
but I
games.
also think structurally, it's not a problem structurally. It's like you need your goaltender to make a save at certain points, right? And it's like at the end of the day, Carolina's allowed 45, 46 shots in this series.
Yeah, and it's like they allowed that in 4 games. And their best offensive player this series has been Shane Gostisbehere. And you know who's in Shane Gostisbehere's head right now?
Brad Marchand.
Marshy.
Well, you know who's Brad Marchand's head is in? Logan Stankovic. Cody, you better tell the story. Cody, go ahead.
Hey, so basically, there's this Twitter account that does like these mystery jerseys, and I was lucky to get 2 of them the last drop. As the 2 jerseys are the Kachina, and I have this Brad Marchand Bruins jersey.
All we need is a walk, so that way Cody can do the little crop walk here, and twirl around, do the spin.
Look,
That is an official Brad Marchand jersey. And again, it's a mystery jersey. Cody didn't buy it. Well, you kind of bought it with your own money, but
I bought it, but I didn't buy like the full price with it.
Yeah.
But it's fitting I get the Marchand Bruins jersey, and if we're gonna be honest, the Bruins jersey is a classic jersey. Let's be real here.
Yep.
I wanted to ask you guys, because I wasn't able to be on the post-game spaces, what everybody's thoughts were on individual players. So I know we've talked about the defense. Kirby, I know we've talked about the first pair quite a bit. Thoughts on their game? Aaron Ekblad just took a tumble in the neutral zone on one of them. But I thought it was, again, I couldn't really nitpick too much.
Okay, I'll just jump in what I said because it could be a different audience, like I was telling Cody here. I haven't seen a better combined game from the second line, the complete second line. I'll say Gustav Forsling with a little bit of Ekblad, but mostly Forsling, his best game at these playoffs, and Bobrovsky. I know Bobrovsky didn't have to do a lot, but if you can have the second line, Forsling and Bob play like that, that's another level that we really haven't hit, Nick.
Yeah,
Bob this series. We're seeing it with the second line. And if Forsling can continue this momentum, then he can jump on with Jones and Schmidt's performances and other guys'.
And with Gustav Forsling's goal, we now have 13 goals by defensemen. Every single defenseman on the Florida Panthers,
Yep.
the exception of that has played a playoff game, now has a goal. That is Gustav Forsling's first goal of this postseason. And Bennett, Tkachuk, and Verhaeghe. Bennett and Verhaeghe each have 3 points. Tkachuk has 2. Forsling and Barkov pot the other 2 goals. And you take a look, guys like Evan Rodriguez really stepped up tonight. Rodriguez, 2 more points. If you take a look going back to that game 3 against Toronto, Evan Rodriguez has 7 points in those 5 games since being moved up to the top line with Alexander Barkov. So
The only thing he's missing is a goal.
yeah, but I mean, he keeps producing. Yep. Evan
can't say what I
Rodriguez.
want to
But
say.
who's going to finish on that first line, Nick? I know it's nitpicking a little
Now
bit.
it's going to be Mackey.
That's what me and Cody brought up.
It's got to be Mackey now.
Yeah, if it's Jesper Vokfest, you better give me a check for that X Factor shit, because I hit it right on the fucking.
You might be in Paul Maurice's office on that one. But if Mackey gets inserted in this lineup, Cody, I think this is more of a series for him, and I would have put him in the Toronto series too.
6x12. Who the hell? 6 by what?
We
Anyways.
can get better comments tonight. There is some better stats out there right now.
And you take a look at some of these minutes, and I know
I didn't see that first one.
Greer played 13 minutes, no sec at 15.
And they played well.
Yeah,
They played
I
well.
mean, Sportsnet did show the stats coming into the pregame. I don't know.
Samuskevich
How
was
did you
3
see
years
that?
old.
How did
I
you
saw
see
it on Twitter X.
Okay,
and it
go ahead.
said that the fourth line, they're out scoring their opponents 4-0. They're out shooting them 26-19, and they're out chancing them 22-17.
The out
Something like
chancing
that.
part is crazy.
That like,
That's the most impressive
and you take a look,
fact.
it's like they haven't been sheltered too much. Like they've played against, they were matched
Austin
with
Matthews.
Austin Matthews and the Tavares line here. They've been out against, I think, Stahl, and I think they got caught out there a couple times with Svechnikov and Aho's line. I know it's now, I mean, there's been blowouts the last 2 games, so it kind of hinders that a bit.
You know who the fourth line is owning, Nick? Morrow.
Oh, yeah.
They're dumping it into his corner. And,
Fucking-
And they, I don't know if you said this, Kirby, but I'm saying to myself, like, he hasn't, like, where's Morrow? Like, because I saw Chatfield was in warmups. I didn't check Twitter.
No, they tried him in warmups, decided
And he wasn't
couldn't
ready.
Go.
So I see Morrow on the bench. I'm like, oh, I guess they're going with him. And then I'm like, where the fuck is he?
He didn't play a shift for the first 10 minutes of the game.
Okay. And I don't know where he ended up.
After he ended up with like 10 minutes or something, Mahura numbers.
because
but
the game was out of reach. I think.
After the first period, he had like 1:32 of ice time. And
Something around there.
and
Or
I was
it
listening,
close to 2, but it wasn't.
and I was looking at like some Canes people that, and I'm like trying to figure out like what line adjustments could they make, because like they would know better than me because they
Well,
watched their team.
And here's another.
Hold on, Nick. Go ahead, Cody.
Like they thought for sure Nikishin was going to be in. Like that was the one move where people were like, "Oh, he's in Nikishin."
But they probably thought Chatfield was going because he took the warm up.
Well, tonight, but from what I was hearing from their side, it sounded like Chatfield was more of more of a yes for game 3 than tonight.
That's fair. Yeah,
I did say that.
I heard that in my preview show with the Carolina guy I had on.
Yeah. So, and they thought Nikishin would be better because bigger body, or if I take the physicality a little bit better, and it's just like. Nick, continue.
I don't know who you blame.
Take a look at
just a collective effort that they didn't show up, and the Panthers had their A+ game.
Sean Walker left the game early.
Greer messed his shit.
Yeah, Greer rocked him.
He
Real rocked
may
him.
not be available for game 3. And if Jalen Chatfield cannot go for game 3,
Thanks, Ryan.
you are potentially going into what is a must-win game.
Tonight was must win for him.
Tonight was a must-win, but game 3 is a must-win for Carolina with Nikishin and Morrow.
Yeah.
I mean, that
I
two
think Chatfield's going.
I feel like you have to, right? Like, even if he's not 100%.
Oh my goodness! Look at that stare.
Does
I
that
was
say-
telling you, Cody. I saw this when we were on air.
Fucking hell!
It's like I don't
They-
think they've ever felt.
He
this
looks like
together.
they already got eliminated.
Yes,
Yeah.
Cody. That's why I had to
This
interrupt
looks
you.
way worse than Toronto losing game
Like,
5.
yeah, Matthews
But-
or Marner never looked this bad.
No,
and
not
not
at-
Nylander.
Let's hear what Stahl had to say. Hear it?
Crank it up.
Crank it up a bit more.
That's as high as it goes.
We can't get it, Caesar. It's all right.
He says that's pretty much an ass whooping all throughout the lineup, and I'm paraphrasing there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, you take a look. I think one of the shocks of this series is how little, like Carolina. This looks like Kirby. You said men amongst boys. This looks like varsity first JV. This looks like the 1 seed versus the wild card 2 team, right? This does not look like the Eastern Conference Final. And like you take a look at the Western Conference Final, Edmonton, Dallas. I know they lost 6-3. Edmonton. That was a pretty hard fought game between the two teams. And I just think I don't think we've ever seen Carolina, even though they have been swept in past years. I don't think they've ever experienced anything like this. I can't remember them ever being this bad, this lethargic.
Against Boston, maybe like way back.
No, not this bad. They didn't.
No,
lose 4-0,
this is bad.
5-0.
Kirby.
Tampa Bay with Dougie Hamilton. They were.
That's true.
They
And
couldn't score, and that's part Vasi.
And then
they couldn't get to the middle of the ice.
the Nedeljkovic like magic pixie dust kind of ran out on him.
but me and Cody were talking about this the other day. you take a look at who they beat in the playoffs.
They haven't beaten fucking
They
anybody.
haven't really beaten anybody. And I'm
Again,
not
I mentioned Tampa Bay, Boston. What team are those teams? in? What
Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like, obviously they've had to play the Tampa Bay Lightning in their glory days, right? And now they're having to play the Florida Panthers, right? Like, that's not easy. Like, those are historic teams. And
Is that like San Jose running into,
Hey, Ryan, it's because
Maybe.
it's 67 degrees in my apartment right now.
Maurice, like, let me get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
hey,
I
we
thought
didn't
that
win
was
off
pretty
the
funny.
ice this year? What happened with all the overtime games? You
I
guys
was like,
missed
fuck
that?
this. I'm not
He's like,
waiting.
let me get out of there.
Where's the overtime games, everyone?
And,
The
and
weekend?
here's, and
We
here's
did
the,
say that, Cody. Game 3, weekend, maybe overtime.
Jamie Compton picked up a rat there.
like, excuse, like, I don't have all my jerseys with me. I have like about 30 to like 35 more.
Cody's got every team.
Like, so
Cody's going to be fucking wearing an Atlanta Thrashers one by the end of this fucking shit.
I do have a Thrashers.
Well, that better make an appearance because they could beat this team.
If we're getting anyone to model, can we get someone from the opposite sex? I'm just throwing it out there. Okay, continue.
Well,
Caesar, set that up. You get the connection.
Well, Kirby, you
Yeah,
think you don't,
Caesar?
what Kirby? You don't think I'm sexy, dog?
Oh, you're rocking it, Cody. You're rocking
Ladies, they're asking
Oh,
for
my
you.
I
it.
mean,
Look at
I-
the subscribers. It's going through
I
the
mean,
roof.
I fucking.
The lights.
I mean, I'm just looking. I'm like, why does Caesar got like some airbags behind him? I'm like, oh shit, those aren't airbags.
That was probably the best video of the whole beef with Biz. Hands down.
Get a workout in.
Yep. Take a look at this quote by Matthew or Carter Verhage. It's fun when we are on the road and the arena goes quiet. It feels like we are doing our job. I mean,
Nick, as an athlete, as a coach, I love road games more than home games. I'm telling you the truth there.
yeah, I think there's like a certain level of calmness. I also think the routine is much more structured. If you have like you're going from a hotel, you leave the rink together, you go to the rink together, you hang out at the hotel, you go to film here, there. Like, it's very structured.
Very connected, and that's how the team is.
Right. And I think that's also just a kind of a testament to, I don't know what it is. It just seems like the team.
I think that starts and ends, though, with Paul Maurice, too.
Yeah. And I think it's the culture. I think it's the mindset, right?
And here's another example of the culture, right, Cody and Nick and Kirby? Here's a quote from Kachuk.
Kachuk was asked again if he cares if he scores again this series. And I quote, "We are up 2-0. I do not care how we get there. I never cared. Sometimes it's nice to go in, but it is what it is sometimes. I'm not Ovechkin, so they're not always going to go in."
Oh, he's getting a little bit from the Barkov playbook there. I wonder how the Kachuk fans feel there. They like a lot of those points, you guys. But it's true, though. But, like, I think the 5-on-5 play, Nick, you alluded to this earlier, and you talked about it. He has to be better, and that second line is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I actually have the stats pulled up here. You take a look. Sam Bennett, 13 points. Carter Verhage, 13 points. Lostarina, 13 points. Barkov and Kachuk at 12. Marchand at 12. Reinhardt at 11. Lundell at 10. You have 8 guys with 10 points. Then you have Aaron Ekblad with 9 points in 10 games. Evan Rodriguez is 8 points in 10 games. I mean, and then you take a look at the depth from the fourth line. I think it's a testament. We've gotten this far, and Matthew Kachuk in the second line really haven't gotten going up until tonight.
And you want to talk about Kirby going after the Cy Young here in the regular season. Sam Bennett's on that track right now. He's at what, 10 goals,
9 goals, 4 assists.
like 9 goals, like
Awesome, Dave Lowry there from Shades of 96.
that's some Cy Young shit right there, Kirby, huh?
Yeah. Dave Lowry might have had 11 and 4. Can't remember. I'd have to go look. But
Right.
yeah,
It's just crazy to think it's like our fifth line started the playoffs as our fourth line, essentially. And obviously, like guys like Nico Sturm, who I was wrong on, I'll admit. But
I don't know. He still has chance here. We're not done.
But like,
I mean,
we're not done. But it's like,
No head contact and no interference.
1, 2.
Cody said whiplash.
That's a clean hit.
can you rewind it a little bit, but keep it paused?
I want to know the interference.
Slowly keep it paused when they make contact.
1, 2. Like
Okay,
1, 2.
elbow.
Today's league.
That's clean.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yeah, in 2009, Cody.
He's 6'2". Jarvis is 5 fucking
No,
8.
when he hit him, I'm saying when he hit him.
Kirby, that's
Nick, you're
2
the
seconds.
tiebreaker on it.
That's 2 seconds after he had the puck.
That's
Like
2 seconds
replayed it,
long today.
replayed after like
Could have pulled off, but it's the playoffs, and it's close enough where fuck it, lay the head.
No head contact there, just whiplash, right?
yeah.
And when you're getting beat like that every shift, you could tell why they're dejected.
Antonio says that's almost as bad as the Ekblad hit on Hagel.
What?
No.
Elbows aren't out.
Ekblad's elbow was literally
That was the
up in
forearm
area.
shiver.
That was forearm.
Like the hit itself is clean. There's no
Yeah,
head
I don't have a
contact.
problem with the hit. I think you
The
probably
only
could have
part
pulled.
you could look at is the blindside part and the interference.
The only thing you can see is the interference. But the hit itself is
Cody,
fucking
that can
clean.
still be suspended.
Well, again, the Aho thing
But
didn't
that's
get
not a
called.
hit to the head.
Okay, but interference call like that, late hit can be suspendable, is what my point is.
Matthew
That's not
wants to know, Kirby, have we grown the playoff beard?
But I got to trim down, but you guys probably won't let me.
Nope.
No,
I'm
you can't.
I'm
You
in.
can't do it. You can't do it.
I'll trim a little bit. I won't.
I don't think. I think it's less than 2 seconds, a second and a half.
I'm seeing some of those hockey players out there look like grizzly men this year playoffs. They're not.
Jordan
There's some-
Staal after he played us.
There are some guys that have some really bad playoff beards. Like Lusto's really
Loose though.
because he has the chin strap.
And Brad Marchand's isn't that great either. He's got like
Yeah.
just a
The
little.
Chucks is never great. Got like the size.
Matthew wants to know, do we think Rhino misses more
Of
than
course,
two?
worrisome Matthew would ask this fucking question.
Okay, so before we answer Matthew's question, let's take a look at the play that potentially caused Rhino to potentially cause Rhino to miss some games.
Good point. And just before you play this too, Nick thought he was fine because he came out there. I'm like, Nick, the looks that I'm getting from Sportsnet, he doesn't look good.
He doesn't look good. So I'm going to show two replays.
TNT is
This
the
is
worst
the
view of it.
full for.
You should try to find the Sportsnet one if you can, Caesar.
Yeah, I do have it. I just want to show this one first.
Like that's such a
It's a bitch ass play.
So and this is something we always talk about, Cody, Nick. Is this Aho's game to do these type of
like
hits?
that's
Yeah,
not
that doesn't seem to me like a fucking.
He's not even looking at the puck. He's looking at his legs the whole time. Look at it.
Well, he's rerouting into him too.
like that's not even a hip check. Like
Seems the hip does get most of it, Kirby. You are right. It does make contact with the knee, but I think the hip takes most of the.
That's what I.
We'll get another look here. Oh, maybe
The
not.
Sportsnet one, you'll see him on the bench.
Yeah, let me pull up the Sportsnet.
And just
one
look
again.
where he's doing his weight transfer, guys. We talked about this in athletics, like where he's leaning and laboring to one side. You see that in basketball. You see it in football. You definitely see it in hockey.
Shout out to, by the way, before we move on, I just wanted to say shout out to everybody here. We reached 300
There
subscribers.
we go. Thank you, everyone. The Cats.
oh,
that
thank
was
you very
our
much.
coming into the playoffs.
So we
there.
appreciate it. You don't have to be here at 1, 2, sometimes even 3 a.m. listening to us of all people. But we
Also
really
want to do a quick shout out to my Instagram as well. Thank you guys for following along. Really appreciate you guys. And go ahead, guys.
No, I was just going to say, like, that was our goal coming into the playoffs. So I appreciate everyone from the Cats and Rats community already getting us there. And like Nick was saying, we're having 40, 50, 60, 70 listeners in here sometimes at these late hours because these games are just going later and later now, Nick. They're not going to be these early.
and not just Panther
Except
fans.
on the weekend. Well, the weekend will be late too.
Like not just Panther fans. We've had Winnipeg fans, Antonio, Chicago fan. They don't have to have any interest in this, right? Like they could be pissed off or whatever, but we do appreciate it.
And even some nice Toronto fans we will mention.
Yes.
They're on the YouTube side. On the Twitter X side, you clowns haven't shown back up. Where are you? I sent you the invites. You're going to say these DMs have been down, but they weren't down a few days ago, so don't be making any excuses.
And now the road to
You
one.
guys said you would show up, win or lose over on Twitter, and you haven't come back. But Cody, we've seen this act before for 4 seasons now, Cody, so it doesn't surprise us.
The road to 1K begins now, gentlemen.
And shouts out to the people on my channel as well. I really appreciate the subscribes
Yes.
the last couple of days. I've got some shows coming up, so stay tuned as well.
it's
Thank you,
this
guys.
it's the Caesar Press Tour.
Habs fan, Kirby, want to say anything to the Habs fan? No, appreciate it.
Oh, Habs fans, we could talk about you guys in Twitter that said we were going to hand over Connor Bedard. Remember those nights, Cody? They brought their whole army that one time, or a couple games there. Those were fun nights.
Yeah.
Shout out Hanger Hockey. Shout out Kenny over on Twitter, X side.
How was that 31st overall pick, boys?
Right.
Alex Cody, Alex Newhook.
Paul Maurice had them the whole way, Nick. He knew what he was doing.
And then
One on that 7.
I'm just going to tease you guys a little bit, and then we're going to go to the Cup.
Because I used to coach in Toronto, so I'm going to troll you, Habs Nation, with a 7-2 run here with my new Florida.
All right, so here's the Sportsnet clip.
And I'm gonna take off our overlay real quick because you guys got to see it here.
Yeah, this is what I saw live tonight when I was talking to Cody and Nick.
Because he's not even close.
I don't think it's a torn MCL, or maybe an MCL. I have no fucking clue. It could be hip flexor, it could be MCL. We're gonna have to wait and see. There is no update officially from the Panthers and Paul Maurice,
And I don't expect anything either. Or
But it only took 4 years for Reinhardt to really have an injury like this.
hopefully it's just a thigh bruise, Christopher says, or a hip bruise. I don't know, but potentially MCL. It obviously would depend on the grade. If it is an MCL tear, grade 1 would be day to day. Grade 2 and beyond would be a little bit longer. But we'll see. I mean, they don't know anything yet, so get back to evaluate them tomorrow.
But before we continue, let's hear a word from our sponsor, Caneswear.
Panthers fever is here. Are you geared up? Caneswear in Davie is the place for all your Florida Panthers needs. They have the latest gear for our favorite NHL team. Jerseys, polos, t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and more. Caneswear has you covered. Stop by their store in Davie or at pantherswear.com. Again, that's pantherswear, WEAR.com for all your Panthers gear.
Thank you, AI Kirby. And then
another shout out to Jeremy Beckham, who was in our Twitter X post-game show. Hey, Panther fans in South Florida need real estate help? Check out Jeremy Beckham with Next Home Treasure Coast. It's a boutique service with a personal touch. Jeremy and his team put humans over houses, working hard for whether you are buying or selling. Ready to move? Hit up BeckSellsFLA.com. Again, that's BeckSellsFLA.com, or call 772-475-5371. Now, you'll be glad you did. Caesar?
And let's kind of take a look at what Carter Verhaeghe had to say after the game. Let me check here. All right, here we go.
Carter, how would you describe the way you guys were able to take such control here tonight?
Yeah, we liked our start, and we got in on the forecheck, took pucks to the net. The power play came up big, and we were above it all night, and it kind of showed in the first period there, and kept it going.
Do you ever surprise yourselves with some of your performances here in the playoffs?
I don't know if we surprised ourselves. I think we kind of just try and stay humble and stick to our game, and sometimes you get the result, sometimes you don't. And tonight, obviously, we got the result, and it's huge for our confidence.
Okay, no good performance is without proper preparation. We got some incredible visuals of you during the warm-up here tonight with the energy that you seem to show during this time. When did all of this become part of the routine?
I was trying to get the legs going. They were feeling a little sleepy, so I was trying to get them going a little bit. Yeah, just the day of, I guess. Yeah.
Great. So is this something you felt today to do?
Sometimes I got to get them going more than others. Sometimes you come to the rink and they're feeling nice, and today had to get them going.
Nick, you see that often at the rink, him that exuberant on warm-ups?
I don't really pay attention to Carter Verhaeghe.
I pay attention to Aaron Ekblad in warm-ups for Cody and stuff. If I'm at the rink and stuff, let him know. He's doing those flips off the glass.
He hasn't done many of those in this postseason, though.
No, there's flip side. I want to get into that. But, Nick, the one thing that I did pull from that was a word that you love or phrase that you love. He's like, we were playing above it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things I think that makes us so good is, like, go take a look at his back checking through. I wonder if we can pull up a play here, if anything. I think you take a look at staying above the play. And I think that just goes to a testament of how intellectually smart this hockey team is. I also wanted to talk about, Carter Verhaeghe throughout these playoffs. It's like 13 points in 14 games, put on the top line. And I've been a proponent of Verhaeghe on that second line. It's kind of weird now, like how that shift has happened, where it's like he's been with Barkov the last 2 playoff runs. Put him back on that second line where he's had success in the past with Benedict Tkachuk, and it works really nicely. And I'm actually really excited to see that second line as a whole now, because it seems like Tkachuk's getting better. I'm like, the last couple of games I've said, I'm like, I think he looks good. Like, I don't, like, he's not laboring as much. So I think you take a look at it, and he's gotten healthier over time, I think, and 8 combined points tonight, and they looked like, I mean, as good as they ever have, right? That was our best line tonight.
This goes back to Boston game 2, I was saying to Cody, in 2023 off the air.
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there was a lot of people were worried about Verhaeghe not scoring in the playoffs. I think Cody was one of them, said the playoffs, he's a different player. Kirby, I've even said it a few times, but people were on him. And it's like, once the playoff hits, I don't know what it is, but he's just meant for it.
Caesar, I can't tell you. There's probably been 20, 30, 40 people that have DM'd me and messaged me like, Kirby, should we have given Verhaeghe that contract when we did? I'm like, yes. I said it during the year. Cody was there and all.
Could you imagine what he'd be asking if he was a free agent?
Yeah. But almost like, do you want to lose him to free agency or just sign him at the end of the year? Like, no, I don't want to take that risk and get. They're like, well, we did it with Reinhart. I'm like, so that's the blueprint.
But those are people are like, oh, we need to re-sign Bennett, and then
Bennett's agent is far different to deal with, obviously, than Verhaeghe's agent, as we've seen how this deal's played out here. The Reinhart one, both camps were comfortable, even if we weren't as fans. They were both seemingly like said that they were going to get the deal done. We haven't heard that from the Ben Ekblad camp. Verhaeghe deal is when I would have got the Reinhart deal done.
Yeah.
You know, and that we would have saved money on the Reinhart deal.
But it's just I tried to tell these people all year, I'm not worried about them.
Neither was
I. Because people don't want to let a fucking guy have a rough year. Like shit.
Called an outlier year, everyone.
I had somebody tell me tonight that we should give Bennett an 8x8, and that if we don't want to do 8 years, make it $8 million, but for 6 years.
Pack your shit, go. Bye. Because here's the thing: this is where bad contracts come from. Players having good playoff performances, when in actuality, like the regular season is really more who you are. But like if you have a good playoffs, you'll get paid a whole shit ton of money.
But everyone can't say Verhaeghe's just a playoff guy, Cody. Look at his numbers. He's averaging around 35 goals per season with us.
And he had 70 points the last 2 seasons prior to this one.
Yeah.
So
playing on the first and second line, or wherever you go.
Like wherever the fuck you put him. Yep. And with
power play, no power play, it's fine. He'll score even strength.
3-0 Florida.
I wonder what clip's coming up next.
Hit the goalie there, Nick. Hit the goalie.
Damn. Game 3 already
started. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Or as we could also say,
it's exciting. It's on.
Like
Verhaeghe block shot, picks it up.
That reminded me. I thought the first one was going to go through. That reminds me so much of Verhaeghe playoff mode there.
Like I know it got deflected,
but he stuck with.
That's such a Verhaeghe goal.
Yeah,
that's such a Verhaeghe goal.
I'm so happy for him right now, and it's a lot of that weight off his shoulders.
$7 million is still too much for me.
Do you think there's any?
Cody's probably the lowest of anyone, but me and Cody are around the same number. But again, we've said that many times.
And Cedric brings up a good point. Look in Montreal with Brendan Gallagher, Kirby's favorite, being paid at 6.5 for the next 4 years. We pay him for what he has done, not what he's going to do. It happened a lot around the league too.
And I think they paid Brendan Gallagher for what he.
And I'm not saying
not what he was going to do, Nick, but they paid Gallagher for what he did for them. And you know what? They paid Gallagher for heart and soul in Montreal because they couldn't get other guys to be there and play there. We think guys to play in Florida.
Here's the thing.
That's where Montreal was at.
I think Sam Bennett right now, sure. I mean, $6.5, $7 million, fine. Whatever. We can figure that out. But is this he's not going to be the same player. Like players like that don't age the best. Now, I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that he doesn't age well and he doesn't play this well. It's a risk for sure. It's not a foregone conclusion that Sam Bennett can continue this level of production. I mean, what happens when he's 32, 33? That wear and tear
but-
starts to go on him a
But
bit.
Can you give just to jump in, Cody? Can you give an example to Panther fans that have been fans for 4 years, 6 years?
Milan Lucic.
Which guy? No, a guy that played for the Panthers. Can you find an example, or do we have to go back to say Todd Bertuzzi?
An example of what?
Say Todd Bertuzzi played
An
well for us.
example of what?
Coming off of that Luongo trade, I wouldn't want to give Todd Bertuzzi a long-term extension.
Like, what do you want me to give you an example of?
Someone that's with the Panthers that fans would understand.
Marchand and Bennett's game are different.
But we don't have a lot of good examples.
And Marchand was putting up 85, 90-point seasons.
Like the David Booth thing, he had concussions, and Dale Town said he didn't trust his health.
The example I could give for re-signing Bennett for what he's done for you is Mark-Edward Vlasic in San Jose.
Okay.
Vlasic was the pinnacle of defensive defenseman in the late 2010s or in the mid 2010s to the early 2020s, and San Jose re-signed him to an exorbitant 8-year deal. And halfway through it, could barely play. Now he's one of the worst defensemen in the league.
That's a defenseman where defensemen are valued at a very high commodity. Source centers, but defense.
But here's the other part: $7-8 million. I mean, I think there's a separation between the $5.5 and $6 million players, and then once you get closer to 7, that's where the separation of players really comes.
And I know this fan base like the back of my hand. The minute Bennett starts making $8 million, you guys are going to want more.
They're going to want to score 40 goals a year in the regular season.
Like
some of them, not all of them. Some of them.
I'm just saying, it's not saying okay, he can't make that, but it's like what winning team plays a player like that. And part of the reason it's worked so well with Bennett is because he only makes 4.1.
Yeah,
it works within the framework.
But it works within what we have and the cap structure that we have.
And
people are saying, well, we got more money to spend. That doesn't always matter. That's where you get into trouble.
So this is what Sportsnet had to say about Bennett and what his impact is on the team.
We talked a little bit about him in the pregame and said, okay, he's got patience with a puck. But tonight you think about how physically imposing he can be. And that was established into space so Greer can skate into it. His skating, it seems to be that he's everywhere on the attack. A little 2-on-1 with Tkachuk finding it. And so a long minute of the second. So 2 goals, an assist, 4 hits so far. What a presence, Cal.
So
Bennett was flying tonight.
And here's the
thing. That's like super turbo boost Bennett.
I'm willing to give Sam Bennett 6 years. The most I'm going is 6.5. I mean,
I would do it for 7.
And 7, if it's that bad, fine. I'd like Sam Bennett. I'd like to keep him. I think the center depth between Barkov, Bennett, Lundell works. It has always worked. And
especially in the playoffs.
He's
not
going
so
to
much
be
in the regular season.
He's going to be 29. You can get 3-4 good years out of him. The final 2, whatever.
I know. I'm already going to hold on. I want to jump in because Nick doesn't get the blowback. I do. You're looking at him, Caesar. I do. So fans get mad at me. They send me DMs. Why are you guys talking about this all the time? This is what the fan base is asking us. Me and Cody don't bring this up every night. Fans ask us, and other fans get mad when we talk about it. So what are we supposed to do? You guys always bring it up on us, and you get mad at me after. So I'm just putting it out there now because I can see the DMs coming. Talk to the fan base.
I'm at max 6 years. I'm not going longer than 6 years, and I don't really want to go more than 6.5. If it's absolute must, like I'm either leaving or I'll stay if you give me the extra $500,000, whatever, fine. That's it. I'm not giving him the 8x8. I'm not giving him the 7x7. I'm not doing this. Like, if you want to stay in Florida, if we're this great of a culture team and everybody, we love it here, then you're going to need to take a
6 by 8.5?
8.5 isn't a pay cut.
That's Derek's favorite guy, Bennett.
So. 8.5 is not a pay cut. If the Florida Panthers can get players to take pay cuts to stay here.
Like Sam Reinhart.
Like Sam Reinhart could have gotten 10.5, 11.
Like Derek is paying Bennett, where for Monter, I was paying him 6.5 to 7 max. So people that are Bennett fans, you guys are paying him way more than what I was going to give.
And here's the thing. People thought Ivan Barbashev was going to get 7x7, and look what he did.
Yeah. All right.
5x5.
Do you want to know a playoff performer that that who was everywhere and never really got paid.
So he did. He was a performer in the playoffs, but never got paid.
Like the most he got paid is looking like $3 million a year.
Okay.
Which is
Justin
Different.
Williams.
who?
Justin Williams.
That's the most he got was $3 million.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
good. Different
he-
players, but good example.
What did he do during the
Antonio says Kachuk is making 9.5 a year. You're telling me Bennett isn't worth 9.5 or even more?
Because Kachuk is on this team. This team changed when Kachuk got here. I'm so sick of this shit.
Yeah, because
When
Bennett was
Bennett
still
got-
here.
When Bennett
When-
got here, we were still fucking soft.
Yeah.
We were soft. We got swept in the fucking second round of that postseason.
I don't think-
You want to tell me what he did that postseason? He got rocked by TJ Oshie. Never did a fucking thing else that postseason.
I think Kachuk is worth at least $3 million more than Sam
Like,
Bennett. Maybe even
Here's
4.
the thing. And Sam Bennett doesn't play penalty kill. He doesn't play fucking power play. He doesn't go against the best team on the other ice. He doesn't win faceoffs. What the fuck are you paying him $9 million for? What?
Fans are saying playoffs.
Okay. Oh, fucking playoffs. Oh,
Can someone pull up Justin Williams? Can we share Justin Williams' numbers on the screen if we want to?
pick 5 guys in the last 3 playoff years. Okay, I got you.
Mikko Rantanen.
Like I don't know how many. How about this? Let's see. I have a guy. Let's see here.
Bennett's also played the most games.
Yeah, I put a tweet out tonight. Caesar's probably not able to pull it up because our DMs aren't working over on Twitter.
Yeah, it's
How about this?
bad.
All right, how about this? Ivan Barbashev. 7 points, 11 assists, 7 goals, 11 assists, 18 points in 24 games in the Stanley Cup winning year for Vegas. Signs
It's
a
hard to
five-
find the last 3 years because the Florida Panthers are the definition of that team. So
Sign-
a lot of
But
guys
they've also played more games than almost anybody.
yeah, like
in
it's the product of
Okay, comp 1. This guy was a menace. He was hitting everything that moved, and he was a thorn in our side in the Cup final. Barbashev, 7 goals, 11 assists for 18 points.
Oh, who asked that question?
There, Thieves.
Derek? Thieves. I'm going to give you a name. His name's Anton Lundell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, the guy that
No
had
one's
more,
going to tell you that on the media.
like that, and that's what infuriates me.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
one of the best games. in
and that
Florida.
is the
Just saying.
biggest, and that's the biggest thing with Bennett is you have Lundell right behind, and he's getting paid $5 billion, and you're
Like,
not
you're gonna see
paying.
the Bennett Four Nation clips, but they're not going to show the Lundell ones. But I watched the game, and Sportsnet broke down. They're like, Anton Lundell's not a third line center in this league. He's a second line.
He's
Look what he's doing against best on best.
Well, here's the question I have. If let's say we do sign Sam Bennett, we're not going to be able to keep them. We're not going to be able to keep Barkov, Bennett, Lundell at these price tags.
And everyone hates to hear this that are big Bennett fans, but Lundell's trajectory is going like this. Bennett's is level, and then it starts to. What guy would you keep? The guy that's going up or the guy that's leveling off and that will draw?
But let's say, okay, we do sign Sam Bennett, and I'm not against signing Sam Bennett, 6 by 6.5, whatever. Fine. I would do that. I think if you really want to stay in Florida, by the way, and we're this team that everybody talks about, like every other player who's re-signed here, Reinhart, Forsling, you take a pay cut. Because people are telling me Gustav Forsling worth $7-8 million. Well, he's making less than 6. So
Perfect.
Sam Bennett.
Here's another comp for you. Andre Palat, 11 goals, 10 assists, 21 points.
He was a playoff killer.
In Tampa Bay's.
How about Killorn?
Maybe I don't know if he was that high. He may have been.
Playoffs. I thought he had 1 or 2 years at least, but I could be off on that.
But guess what? Signs in New Jersey, not the same player.
But I'll just say this. Let's say we sign Sam Bennett to the 8x8 people want, right? We're not going to be able to keep Barkov, Bennett, Lundell down the middle. So we're trading Anton Lundell?
And here's another thing, and I don't think people are realizing this. So we have $19 million in cap space, right? Let's say we give that 8x8 to Bennett, right? So he's so we're at what, 11 million? Mackey's going to command
2,
1.5, 2.
You can pull up the Puckpedia right now. We can roll through it, but
but here's the thing. So like Mackey's going to command what, 1.5 million, maybe 2,
maybe 2. Yeah,
Derek, he's not going to take a 3-year deal. Everybody who's a
Because the way
pending
that he plays,
He-
not
he-
his
he-
power-
everybody that is
not
a
his
pending
power
UFA.
forward.
No, especially at his
Or-
age, he's not going to
the
fix that.
CBA gets very mad at players, and Bennett does not have an agent that's going to do that. You guys have to read into Darren Ferris. Do your homework on Bennett's agent, then come back and discuss with me.
But here's the thing.
See stuff.
These players, Aaron Ekblad, Sam Bennett, all these other players, well, let's do 3-4 years. This is an NHL 25. We can't do that. They're going to say, I want 6, 7, 8 years. I want security and I want cash. And deservingly so, they deserve it.
Okay.
And I'm not saying Sam Bennett doesn't earn the right to go cash out.
And this is the same agent that's getting Marner paid as the
But here,
lucrative.
but let me finish my point.
I made all this money on Marner.
Let me finish my point on why I'm against re-signing Sam Bennett. Because number one, Anton Lundell's right behind him, chomping at the bit to be a second line center, who he is already. If you do not believe he's a second line center, I believe you're one of two things: either blind or biased to Sam Bennett.
That, and then you risk of the fact of losing him when his contract is up, because he's going to want to be. He's going to want better opportunities.
But fans want to hold him down. The ones that want to hold him
for the comps.
Points.
So Palat got $6 million. That was the one comp. 11 goals, 10 assists for 21 points. And his last year in Tampa, the one where they lost in the Cup final to Colorado. That was one comp.
But we can't afford to keep that. But also the reason why that's good, Derek, is because we're not paying them like that.
Okay. But all right, let me just
It's a good comp for Bennett, but Kadri, look at his regular season numbers.
And so let me finish this comp real quick. It's my reason of this cap situation. So you give $8 million to Bennett. That's $11 million left. $1.5, $2 million to Samoskevich. That's either $9.5 or $9 million. We have to sign a backup goalie and a top 4 defenseman and a bottom pair defenseman.
And we're not doing that strategy of defense from before.
And we're not doing Vitek Vanacek. Rule that shit out.
Those are the 3 things if you give Bennett $8 million.
And Christopher puts it best.
What you're saying is, Cody, it takes away from so much other parts of your roster.
Yes.
Bennett's gonna have to choose. It's, do I want to cash in as much as I possibly can?
Or do I want to help this team stay
Or do I want to make good money and stay on a team I know and stuff?
In his court. And from what I believe with Bennett, $1 million goes to a goalie, 7.5 goes to Bennett. Okay, so we're going $1 million backup goalie.
$1 million backup goalie.
So we're running Bob into the ground.
And we're putting Appleby out there.
How much is Ekblad in the scenario? Ekblad's gone in this scenario, apparently.
Yeah.
Like Ekblad's gone.
People want to resign.
Everyone's math isn't mathing like Cody's.
Well, and people want to resign Brad Marchand.
And so, all right, so you do $1 million for a goalie now. All right, so you now have $8 million to get a top 4D and a bottom pair D.
Here's the other part.
That's
feasible, but
we have a $10 million goalie coming off the book. So people are like, great, we have Bob coming off. Like, okay,
we're gonna re-sign him.
We need to replace him at some point. He's not going to be around forever. And even if you do resign him for
fans don't want to have a stopgap year with an older Bob and a $1 million goalie, Nick. They're not going to want to deal with that.
What you're probably going to do is you're probably going to have to take the money and go get a good. We were talking about this earlier.
But you can't get rid of Bob's money if you do that because he's still on the books.
But Bob's money only goes down what, $3 million, $3.5 million.
Oh, I think it's 4.
At least 3.5, 4. At least.
Like
I think he takes $5 million, 1 year, $5 million.
Okay, but the thing is, and this is why this $1 million backup bullshit don't work. Look at what Tampa.
It doesn't work next year, Coach.
Look at Tampa. Look at the cross-state rivals. They're trying to fucking hammer the fact that $1 million goalie, $1 million third pair, Samuel $2 million. Now you have $15 million for Ekblad and Bennett. So you're praying that either one of them are going to take $7.5 million. And with that math, you have basically put yourself to the cap, which means you can't go at the deadline. You cannot go and get someone better unless someone is like major league hurt on LTIR.
Stolar's was 2.5.
Yeah, you can't bake in an LTIR and just have that hatch that scheme every playoffs. This
Unless
year was legitimate with the match.
Unless we're doing like Nancy Kerrigan, then it's like.
Oh yeah, and that's right. We don't have
enough bad publicity.
Oh, that's right. We don't have a 4C either.
Kirby, are you interested in playing fourth line center for the Florida Panthers next year?
Well, I guess apparently I'm backup.
So
how about a goaltender?
What a save by Lupo!
and
they put in the rebound, and it's 8-0.
How is our penalty kill better at home, but our power play is dog shit? And then our power play is fire, but our penalty kill gets lower.
Our power play, I freaking want to throw like shit at shit.
30?
Like when I'm at the games, I'm like, what the fuck are we doing?
Yeah, Nick, you really get to have a good look at
I really hate the Public's power play. I mean, I really do.
But it's crazy how the
Publix.
numbers are like completely crazy at home compared to the road.
No, that's insane levels, Caesar. Like that is not normal. That's not like.
And also, I'm going to be honest with you.
Even rare.
Our power play, it hasn't been good. I don't know how we've gotten the power play goals we've gotten. Because like the Tampa one, you get 3 there, then you get 2 the other night in Carolina.
Well, I called the Bennett one like a 5v5 goal that he scored 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago.
Well, you know what's like funny is like the like past this stat, like our worst playoff games in the last 3 years have all been at home.
Yeah.
No, I think Game 4 against Edmonton.
2023, those stinkers against Boston.
How about Vegas?
So let's hear what Goldstein had to say after the game.
So let's go back to Sergei Bobrovsky. Grimmer was raving about him. I rave about him. You get to see him up close all the time. He's been dominant against the Canes. Any reason to expect that's going to change?
Carolina's a really good team. They forecheck. We know about the puck pressure, but they do have a hard time scoring sometimes. And Sergei is just out the confidence against them. He was amazing in the last time they played in the Eastern Conference Final a couple of years ago. I mean, the Panthers won every one of those games, low scoring at the multiple overtime game, the 1-0 game. So he just seems to be dialed in against these guys. And they're going to have to come up with something different in order to beat them, because even on the grade A chances in game 1, Aho got in on a breakaway. Jarvis had a pretty good chance, and Sergei just stoned him. So, being around the guy, he's like a machine, like you guys were talking about, the work ethic, the preparation, and you wonder, and, Stu, you could probably answer this better than we can, at what point maybe does a goaltender with these kind of gaudy numbers start to get into the head of the opponent?
And that was before the game today. So now he's got 2 shutouts, and those numbers are a lot better. I said this yesterday. Sergei Bobrovsky loves playing the Hurricanes. I know everybody's talking about.
You know what I say to those numbers? You know what I say to those numbers?
Wow.
I mean, just.
But everybody's sitting there trying to talk about how let's sign Bennett. Why not sign Bob now to an extension to a reasonable price? Why aren't we talking about that?
Because his price is at his highest right now.
We can wait a little bit. I'll sign Mikola.
Like I'm just doing more math.
Mikola.
The only way I see Bennett re-signing with Florida, and let's say he does, I think if he does re-sign in Florida, the number's probably going to be 7.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to answer Caesar's question a little bit more fully here. The answer to that, Caesar, is you're kind of bidding against yourself, and we're not up to that point right now. So we have to have other contracts like the Bennett thing that we're talking about here. So again, you're bidding against yourself, because Bob's probably going to call and say, I only want to play in Florida. Now everyone believes that Bennett and Ekblad and all these players think that. That's not really the truth. I think with Bobrovsky, Cody and Nick, he would.
I think Bobrovsky retires a Florida Panther.
Yeah.
And his number at his jersey goes up in the rafters. He goes to the Hall of Fame. Do you have to declare a team? I've been meaning to ask this. Do you have to declare a team when you go to the Hall of Fame?
I think that's more of a baseball thing.
I think
More of a baseball thing.
baseball or football, right? Or no, football.
No, baseball, I think. Only.
Football, you change teams so often, it's like kind of hard. But
True.
like,
That's an NFL thing. Okay, I was asking. I didn't really.
But,
thank you, Ryan.
And it's just with if they traded Knight, they already got to have like some idea.
Contingency plan. We've talked about this off air, Nick. The Sorokin plan, and I've thrown Demko's name in there. So we're going to be starting
Swayman
next summer.
What? Swayman would probably be.
Swayman and Saros, I think, less likely. I think Demko and Sorokin are real possibilities.
I think another name that's quite a possibility, Philip Gustafson, too.
And these are a couple names. I'll throw out guys that I like. I don't think Dostal's available, but Joey Decourt and Joseph Wall, those are real likelihood possibilities as well.
But on the Bennett thing is like I just did all the math in my head. The only way I could see us if we do re-sign Bennett, I think Erod's bye-bye. Let me rephrase. If we re-sign Bennett, I know Erod's bye-bye.
Yeah, and I think he can be replaceable. He's
Well, you don't even need to add a piece in the offseason to replace him.
No, with
Mackey,
Mackey will have another year under his belt.
But you'll have Mackey.
We're trying to get in goalie chat here. Cody's fixated on Bennett.
I want D. I want defenseman on the back end of this.
I want a goalie after Bob.
I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm not paying $1 million or $3 million.
What is Svechnik? What does Svechnikov's bitch ass had to say? Just try to enjoy it. This is the best time of year. Enjoy the time. Have fun. Try and shoot more. Motherfucker, all you've been doing is throwing hits. Dirty ones at that and punching our fucking guy in the back of the head. Yeah,
Cody loves to carry.
Hold on a second here. Was Svechnikov on the podium tonight? And if so, I'm at.
Yeah.
Cody loves the Carolina Hurricanes. It dates back to 2005-06 with the Carolina Hurricanes. Eric Cole, Eric Stahl.
Oh, the divers?
He loves
Adam, remember
another
that.
guy he loves, Alexander Semin. A guy that I loved, that fucking asshole, Justin Falk.
That's
or Justin Fuck.
I could not stand him. I still can't.
I
brought that name up from the past, Nick.
I couldn't stand Cam Ward. I couldn't stand,
and I hated seeing Ray Whitney be successful there. The UCO, I'm like, this guy's a good hockey player. And then he came to us. I'm like, yeah, I kind of saw.
That second line was fire. Him, Trocheck, and Riley Smith.
Yeah, in the playoffs for us. Wow. But yeah, so a lot of former Panthers or our future Panthers played on those Carolina teams. Future Panthers head coach there, Nick.
Yeah.
Living in the Hall of
Cam Ward is the
Future
GOAT.
former Hurricanes coach, too.
Yeah, fucking Manny Diaz. How about that?
So tonight they had to run. So the other night they had to do the Manny Diaz with the Miami Hurricanes. And then if you guys saw tonight, they had to do the Jonathan Stewart, not with the Florida Panthers football team, the Carolina Panthers. I know the South Florida news stations got that.
Oh, yeah, the fat running back.
Do they think these things through?
What are you guys doing here? Are they trying to troll us? Or do is that from the Carolina Hurricanes admin page there? Trying to set us all up? You're 0 for 2 right now.
No, I just remember Jonathan Stewart because he was fat. He was one of the bigger running backs in the league.
I remember him because he was boring and mid, as Cody would call.
It's easy gonna pop a smile on his face when I say the name, but they need to bring in Mike Tolbert.
Do you know their running back then? What was that guy, Williams or whatever?
Why do we keep talking about football here?
Williams, he was better in college in Memphis, Cody.
We can't get away from football on these discussions.
I'm just bringing up the Panther thing tonight. Jonathan Stewart.
He sees a love football, man.
Good. You should do NFL after dark.
Who's the next person? Are they going to, one, are they going to have another game to do it? And two, who are they going to pick next?
I'm going to say yes, they're going to have another game to do it. You know what? I think they bring in the big guns. I bet they bring in Steph Curry or some shit.
Oh, Curry. That's a good one. Anyone else?
Cam Newton?
Who are we talking about?
For Carolina to do the thing.
Oh, there won't be a game. There's not another home game for them this year.
What do you say no?
Let's see. LaMelo Ball.
Oh, that's a loss.
I'm kidding. I'm joking. Everybody.
We're in that corner. Whoa. LaMelo Ball.
Bring in Cam Newton since it's a college atmosphere.
I don't know. I'll bring up a name Kirby knows. Al Jefferson
in the NFL.
Anyway, here's the fourth line thing I was talking about. Caesar, play the clip. This was really interesting.
I cannot believe with all the forwards you haven't seen. This is the fucking fourth line we.
This was pregame, right?
Yep.
Florida is 5-1. Paul Maurice made this wholesale change before Game 3 of the Toronto series. They've outscored opponents 4-0 when they've been on the ice, and it's pretty impressive. Greer and Gadjevich, the GGs, not the Ottawa GGs, but the Florida GGs, they've both got 2 goals and 1 assist. This was Game 5 against Toronto, Greer goal, and Nosek has 3 assists. This is Game 7. Seth Jones, great play at the blue line. Gadjevich scores here in just a second, and Nosek has 3 assists. He had 1 the other night, so on the great play to Mikkola. So, I mean, you take a look at Florida, there are no passengers on this team. Everybody has a role. Everybody has an identity, and fourth-line players. They know that their spot in the lineup is precarious. They're not giving Paul Maurice any reason to consider taking them out.
I love that. Every bit of it.
I just came up with another name for the thing with Miami connections. Alonzo Mourning.
Oh, that's going back.
He did play for the Hornets.
But then that's so they're really trying to troll then.
They troll with fucking Manny Diaz, that trash ass motherfucker.
That's right. That kind of matches Cody. That does.
Next year it could be Rod Brindamore. Anyway,
I mean, if the Stars have like that kind of shit or whatever, they should put out Roy Williams. Like, Caesar shakes his head violently.
Anyways, gentlemen, anything else before we get going here?
Do we have any predictions for Game 2 of the Western Conference Final?
I have no idea. Game 1 kind of just.
Edmonton's a little better in the third period, and they respond with a win.
And Meeksy, it's your boy, says Friedman made the passenger solely due to the Austin Matthews comment.
No, did you see Friedman's acronym for Florida Carolina tonight?
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
It's so funny.
Anyway, gentlemen,
but for Edmonton Dallas,
I'm gonna go
Edmonton. I think Edmonton signed this up.
Hey, I was right on the puck the other night. Mikkola.
I'm a guess. I think it's got to be Swaggy tonight.
I'll go. So Mikkola's giving it up, right?
Yeah.
I want to say Bennett. I really do. I'm gonna go Kachuk.
Okay, I already know who it is.
You guys know
who it is.
Say that one more time.
Who do you think is getting the puck tonight? I think it's Verhage.
I think Verhage.
Okay, I'll go Kachuk, but Bennett, a little outside shot to Bennett.
You know who really should get it? Either Freddie Anderson or Andrei Svechnikov. No, I think it's going to be.
Or Bob gets it again because he's the owner of the Carolina Hurricanes.
Very true. Very true.
But I don't think he's getting
he's not as cheap as their owner. Anyway, enough of the Carolina tropical storms. I mean,
you guys are going to hold it down Saturday. I should be here, but schedule's up in the air. So
yeah.
Panthers defeat the Carolina tropical depressions 5-0 here tonight, and they head home up 2-0 in this series.
Just need to win one of the two.
And thanks again for the 300 subscribers, guys.
Yeah,
we really appreciate the love.
Insane.
We're totally blown away. Thanks again for following us on our social platforms as well. Until next time, let's go, Cats.
Great game, boys. Bobby unreal. Forsey unreal. Swaggy.
Hey, boys. Let's go home. Get another one.
What's up, Cats and Rats fans? If you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button before you head out. If you're listening to us on Apple and Spotify, make sure you leave us a 5-star review. And just like always, let's go Cats.